All right, let's do it.
When you are ready, Bill.
We are live, everybody. We're also on tape. We are deep down in the bowels of this music. It's episode 78. 78.
78. Oh, 78. I was
Anything?
thinking about, well, no, I was thinking about music. 78, it's cool because Mike's a music guy and we're in a music building. And 78s, I had a 78. 78s were the records back in the day. There was the 33 was the LP, the albums.
Yep.
And the 45s, we talked about 45s before, those little ones you put on the thing with the little thing and the singles. The 78s were from back in the 30s and 40s. I had two. I had one from Tommy Dorsey and I had one from Bing Crosby.
Well, what shape are they?
They're
big
very,
records?
very heavy. They're heavy. They're in between the 45 and the 33 in size. But they're like a discus, like Dylan Armstrong could throw these things.
Did Buck used to play some music?
Yeah, Buck and my mom, Jelly, we had a huge stereo. You know, the old stereos where the big speakers, and on the top they had a.
He's got his phone going.
On the top they had a. Turntable,
Yeah.
and then or the bottom turntable, and you had a radio thing there, and we put them on. You put the needle on it, and then it would blast out the whole townhouse.
Did you have like a green carpet? Was it a smoky room? Like what was your?
It was orange shag carpet,
Yeah.
orange walls with those big wooden spoon and wooden fork in the, and there was nicotine all over there.
I was going to say, your parents smoked, right? Or-
Yeah. My mom smoked. That's what killed her. And my dad smoked until he quit smoking and drinking on the same day in '82, I think it was. And then he got really fat and he ate horribly and had a whole bunch of heart attacks. But he lived for longer than he should have. Anyway, the point is this. I used to get out of the...
the Strauss drops gave him a few extra.
Oh, a lot of years. I used to get out of the shower. You know, this is how bad it was back then. You don't even notice it until now, but you get out of the shower, you take a long hot shower, and there'd be like streaks of yellow coming down the side because it's all the nicotine, right? And I didn't know what it was. You'd wipe it down. Then I realized later, after Mom had lung cancer, holy shit, I've been living in this whole house of. I probably don't have long to go either. But anyway, it was.
Mike's one wants to pipe in.
The point is, the 78 records. When you said 78, I couldn't think of anything. But 78, the records, people out there of a certain vintage will know they're really cool. I had two. And they were so heavy and brittle that if you tapped them, they would shatter. They weren't like vinyl; they were like harder. Do you remember the 78s, right?
Absolutely, I remember the 78s, and they were about 3 minutes of recording time on those guys.
Yes.
And then they got into the smaller records, which you could actually get a full-length album on.
And plus more durable.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
But for me, thanks for asking, Marty. 1978.
Oh, it's Van Halen.
Van Halen, Eruption.
Here we go.
And
Is that from Diver Down? No.
Van Halen,
Van
I think
Halen,
was
Van
what it's
Halen.
called.
Yeah.
But this song in particular, when it came on the radio,
Is that Girl You Really Got Me Now?
no, same album.
Same album.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a great song.
I can listen to the whole
Good
thing.
intro. Yeah. Great album.
I wish we could have more musical backing on the show. Anyway, tell your
But
story.
here's the deal with Van Halen. When that song came out and people would hear it on the radio, guitarists would hear it on the radio, they were like, "What is this? How is this being played?" And just spawned this whole generation of even to this day, his reach and what he has done is still iconic and
revolutionary.
just amazing.
It almost sounds like Hendrix kind of sparked that too, though, right? Like 10 years before.
Wah-wah
with that-
pedal,
with the-
distortion.
with that distortion, but
Yeah.
that's more like crisp, like
Yeah.
a crisper sound than.
He used to call it the brown sound because it had that tone. It wasn't harsh, it wasn't edgy, but he would hide his back to the audience and do all this finger tapping stuff because he didn't want anybody to copy what he was
wow.
doing. His playing style.
River Song? Was he on River Song?
If River Song was available while he was alive,
Eddie would have
at that
played
time, I'm sure he would be playing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic show today. Reader's Digest returns, his third time joining us on this show. We have Sally Martin, the Executive Director of Valid Dreams Foundation, Big Black History Month event coming up this Saturday at Mike's Stomping Grounds, Colombo Lodge.
Colombo Lodge, yeah.
Italian?
Where the
Hey.
South Shore Italians are, that's right.
Also, Logan Stankoven, we have a clip from him. He's ripping it up again. Today we're going to do things a bit different. We're going to talk about what's going on with the mayor, you and I, and then ask him about it later. So, Deputy Mayor's role. What's going on with this right now?
The last time we had Reid on, or maybe the first time, I think it was the last time, we asked the mayor about council's concern about him not attending as many events as they'd like him to.
And he had his rebuttals. He's saying,
not attending team building meetings. He explained all why he wasn't and all that. Council was of the opinion that if the mayor is not going to, like previous mayors, attend these events and be more involved, then perhaps they should look at reviewing what a deputy mayor's role is. A deputy mayor is basically a rotating thing. Every month, one of the councillors is a deputy mayor and acts on behalf of the city when the mayor is otherwise busy.
And the role hasn't been well defined previously.
Well, it's basically been, if the mayor's on vacation, if the mayor's busy doing something else and he can't make it to an event, well, the deputy mayor, one of the councillors, this month you're deputy mayor, you go and you represent the city in lieu of the mayor who's busy or away on business or whatever. Because the council believes that the deputy mayor's role under Mayor Hamer-Jackson may be more involved, may be more robust, they are discussing amongst themselves whether to redraw the parameters and say, let's define the role. Maybe it has to be more than what it has been.
It's Katie Newstater, Dale Bass, Bill Sarai, and Mike O'Reilly, and they're the first four in the rotation of deputy mayors.
They were the first four from October, November, December, January, February. Katie is right now the deputy mayor for February. So those first four are the four on council who have experience being the deputy mayor. So they have decided to talk amongst themselves, come up with some ideas as to what they think the deputy mayor's role should be. Should it be expanded? Should it be redefined? They'll report back to the rest of their council members. And from there, I don't know where it's going to go. The mayor's not involved in this. And whether or not it becomes a vote on council for a bylaw, whether it becomes just an informal thing that council wants to do, we'll find out.
That was the mayor. Sorry, he's outside waiting. But this all stems though from the January 10th meeting too, this whole team building thing that he missed. And after that, the team player thing came out with Dale Bass speaking on behalf of council, saying he's not being enough of a team player.
The bottom line is,
they feel like because he's not going to be there,
he's not. They don't think the mayor is being involved as much as he should be. The mayor disagrees, so they're doing this.
Yes,
basically that's
we'll
what
ask
it
him
comes
about
down
that
to.
and see how he feels about that.
Yes,
we also want to ask him about the council meeting that ran long last week.
Yes,
in part because of the public speaking.
At the beginning of every council meeting, there's a public inquiry session where the public can come up. Anyone can come up and can speak to and ask questions of anything on the agenda. The previous mayor, Ken Christian, and I think mayors before that, limited each participant to 5 minutes. You got 5 minutes to ask them questions because they don't want it to drag on. Mayor Hamer-Jackson is of the opinion that the voters put them in there, so they should have unlimited time at the microphone. The last meeting went 4.5, 5 hours long, primarily because the beginning of the meeting, there was a lot of people coming up talking about issues on the agenda, and other than just ask questions, they were going on and talking about it. I thought it was very, very informative. I thought it was very
you wrote a column because
democratic.
Yeah.
I see Dale Bass has now has put forth a notice of motion that will be discussed on February 28th, the next council meeting. She is asking that they put that 5-minute limit back in and they codify it in the bylaws. So
you're also a fan of that.
I don't see a problem with that because I understand what they're saying is they're tired. That day they had a 13-hour day, and her argument and I see it was that people could come and ask questions, but we should have a 5-minute limit because it was a 13-hour day, and by the time council went from their meetings to the regular meeting to the in-camera meeting to the public hearing, they're pretty mentally tired. They're not as sharp as they could be, and it's not fair to people who are waiting to see them.
But the mayor is not a fan of the time limit, our current mayor.
Well, we'll ask him. Yeah. We'll ask him today whether or not he's okay with that. I know that he said at that meeting, he says, just to be clear, there's no time limit, say your piece. I'm not sure whether we'll ask him what he thinks of Dale Bass's idea, whether it's good or bad. I liked the meeting because it was long, but I like the fact that everyone could talk as much as they want and they can get their expressions out, and we learned a lot at that meeting. On the other hand, I understand what Dale and the other councillors are saying. Yeah. You can't do that every single time because you're going to get exhausted. There has to be a happy medium.
And we're also going to ask him about social disorder, about BC housing, about Ask Wellness. Have you had any conversations? You ran on those types of things. Can you update us
on some of those?
What else is on his mind?
Yep.
Because we're going to get accused of, you're just trying to rile things up between the current council.
No, we'll see what else. The things are happening. There's a lot of stuff happening at council, and I'm going to actually probably write a column next week about, it's not all as a mess. I mean, it looks messy from the outside. Katie Newstater, the current deputy mayor and councillor, she wrote a column in today's newspaper, February 8th, Kamloops This Week, and she talked about how she acknowledges it looks kind of crazy from the outside, but they're getting stuff done behind the scenes. I'm going to write a little bit about what they've gotten done so far, and I think people should, you could criticize council, but you should also note when they've done some things, and they have done some things.
Mike, we did some things last weekend, didn't we? What did we get up to, myself, you, and Chris?
Well, it was the Special Olympics.
Yes.
So in honor of the Special Olympics and all the athletes that were coming to town, we decided that we would play floor hockey, which is using those rings, which is new for me because I've always been a wicked slap shotter. But the ring and the stick thing, it seems pretty cool.
Now, we had to bench Folds. Right away, we had to bench Folds because he had a few too many club cars. And
yes, yeah.
Club cars, it actually wasn't the consumption. It was they were so good.
Well, I couldn't stop drinking them. I thought it tasted like a fruit drink, and I forgot. See, I got a sinus infection about 9 days ago, and this is true. The last time I had a drink was January 29th, and today is February 8th, and that's the longest I've ever gone without having a drink. And I feel really good. I feel clear. So I wasn't used to it because my body wasn't used to it. And so then when I was on the bench and I was feeling a little bit a little bit dizzy, someone brought me a couple of McDonald's coffees. Woke me right up.
Right up, yeah.
Right up.
What flavor were you having? Was it the Sea Breeze, the Berry Crush, the
Berry
Peach
Crush?
Melba, Berry Crush?
The Berry Crush because it's a very good medley of berries.
The pineapple mojito is one of my faves. And what I like about all of those drinks is that they're not sugary, so you don't feel that
No, you don't, yeah.
sugary aftershock.
No.
But for some reason, you're on the bench too. I had to bench you just because you weren't playing very well.
Well, I was tired.
You took out your Berry Crush, right? And then we went to the Aberdeen Playland with all the other players. We took them out for a McDonald's session, right? We went to the Playland, and you're starting to have your Berry Crushes like this, and it's celebrating the big win with the Peach Melba, and everyone's all dirty. The shirts are dirty. So we had to go to Gord's to get a washing machine.
Washing machine, yeah.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
And it's amazing how clean those washing machines get clothes.
That's right.
It is amazing.
And while the clothes were washing, we were on our skivvies, still respectable. We were very tired from all that drinking and playing, so we had a really good nap on a
Serta mattress. But I didn't realize that you were European. Just the G-stringy thing that you were wearing is kind of interesting.
very
Those
modern.
mattresses, by the way, it's fabulous free February, interest-free Sealy mattresses right now.
Oh, there you go.
At
There you go.
Gord's.
Good timing.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Yep.
Oh, but Folds, actually, one more thing. He's been banned now from the Special Olympics because he was actually making bets on some of these games.
Well, BetStamp I went to BetStamp.
BetStamp.
BetStamp, that's right.
What is it?
It's the Trivago of betting. So if you want to get a hotel room and you don't want to go to 500 sites to find the best hotel room, you go to Trivago or one of those sites, hotels.com, and they kind of do all the work for you and get you the best rate. BetStamp does the same thing for betting lines, and you can pick the best odds for your bet.
They call that line shopping. The best place to do it. It's an app you have to download called BetStamp. Use the promo code Kamloops Last Week. We don't encourage overconsumption. We don't encourage gambling on the Special Olympics.
No.
But that's what you did.
Yes.
And you had to go.
Yes, yeah. I'm human.
Hey, we have to go to our next segment. We're still looking for a sponsor for Reader's Digest's most popular segment. By the way, 360 subscribers now on Kamloops Last Week. What are you doing up here? You flickering things around?
I thought you were talking about the sponsorship of the Magic Mirror
And
behind
actually,
me.
we are now.
You know?
We're looking for a Magic Mirror sponsor, too. What would they get with that, Mike?
The entire whiteboard right behind us, and also full screen shot of the Magic Mirror and what's going on.
Every time you talk and you're an integral part of the show, there it is. Maybe it's a garage door company. We pull down the garage door at the back at the start of the segment. The Magic Mirror, brought to you by, name your company you're in. So today, Reader's Digest brought to you by nobody except Gord's Appliance and Mattress Center.
We have, this wonderful Whirlpool here. And if you want something in a lower price range, I do have a floor model for sale right here. If you want to have a look inside here, always knock first, just in case there's a salad dressing inside. But
looking at it just cracks me up.
funny story, I had a gentleman in here yesterday and he brought his blanket in. He was here 3 times and I finally realized he was an undercover cop.
Steve's dad jokes are undeniably painful, but there is nothing cringeworthy about the service at Gorge.
Hey, what picture do you want up there?
If you don't like that, what picture do you want?
What picture do you want?
I think it's a great
little
photo
more
of you.
normal. That's not normal. I'm not-
That's you making a speech to the
that's
city.
Yeah, I wear that all the
see his
time.
point. It's
No,
not.
that's a special occasion. That's when you. This
It's
is
inauguration.
Yeah, but you're going to have a State of the City address every year. You're going to dress up and you're going to do that. You're going to look all professorial.
You're going to get my chain back?
I don't know where your chain of office is. Where is the chain of office?
Where's the chain of
You
office?
Where's
know,
the mayor's
it
chain
was-
of office?
It's allegedly.
What happened to it, first of all?
Allegedly, you told me that it was in the landfill, allegedly.
No, what happened was there was a break-in at City Hall, a couple
Yeah.
of break-ins, and
Yeah,
one of the
3, I think.
break-ins,
Yeah.
they stole the mayor's chain of office,
Yeah.
and it went missing.
It's not too bad they didn't have cameras at the time.
There's a rumor around town, unsubstantiated, and we can't write on something we don't know to be true. There's a rumor that the chain of office was found in a homeless encampment on the river, maybe by Mac Island, I think. And there was a rumor that the bylaws officers, community service officers, were cleaning it up, you know, as they're supposed to do, clean up the river, and it inadvertently got thrown out with the trash.
No.
That's a rumor. Is that true or not? Do you know anything
That's
else?
a rumor that I got.
Well, that's all I know.
That's all I know.
It's your chain of office.
I got it from you, though.
And we heard it from other people, but like I say, it's like social media. You hear this stuff, but a reputable news organization is not going to report on it unless you find out about it. We have been looking into it. We can't find any proof that that's the case. And
let's talk
it's probably just it's gone now.
Yeah, I have no reports that suggest otherwise.
Here's a quick question. There was supposed to be there was a contest that was cut short about redoing it, having artists come and redo it, but for some reason it just didn't go anywhere. Are you going to get a new one made?
Well, actually, at the time, I said to our EA, I said, don't worry about the chain for me. Okay, don't
you
worry
don't
about
care about the chain.
I don't care about the chain,
Okay,
yeah.
fair enough.
It was $3,600 just to anyways, forget the chain.
Okay.
I was just joking.
No chain. Okay, no chain.
I think we're going
There's
to start
update.
all of these just by asking you what's on your mind. What's on your mind, top of mind, as far as the city politics? What's the number one thing you're thinking about this week?
This week, I'm thinking about, we've been thinking about our strategic planning, which we're going to be getting into again next week, which is, very positive. Our last meeting was very positive. We had 2 days, solid days, but we need an extra day, because, a lot of topics on the go, and, I think it was really positive that everybody was, agreeing on the same.
Who's in the meeting?
We've got all the
All the council?
council,
And no one else?
and no, we've got city staff.
Staff
and
is
things
there
like
too,
that.
and they're talking about-
yeah,
okay, good.
Yeah, and I can't talk a lot about what
Sure.
we're talking about, but top of mind was safety of the community and housing. So that's about all I can say about that right
Okay,
now.
well, we were going to ask you about that. Any interesting conversations with Interior Health or Ask Wellness or anybody in the provincial government that you can share as far as working on crime issues or social disorder? Anything that you can tease, any news you can give us?
Yeah, actually, I talked to Susan Brown. Actually, I think I told you guys, early on, I picked up the phone and talked to Susan Brown and met with her, had a meeting with her early on, and
CEO of Interior Health.
yeah, CEO of Interior Health, and had a meeting with her, and then her staff got a hold of me, and we're talking about complex care, which I think is very important. I mean, I really think we need recovery also, but complex care is for some of the worst people that are struggling the worst on our streets today. And in talking to her, I learned that they'd brought half a dozen proposals to the city, which everybody thinks. As a matter of fact, I was at a mixer at North Shore last night, and there was a guy saying, "Well, the Interior Health this, Interior Health." Well, actually, Interior Health had brought half a dozen proposals to the city for complex care. And we had some meetings, and again, that's when I announced it a little bit early. But we got 4 complex care beds up and going. We're going to get another 16 here in the near future. So I think that's a positive thing. We got Car 40 going on, and we've got we're going to be getting 150 parking spots up at the hospital.
Right.
Interior Health, they're doing strategic planning on what they can help better with services, and they're also going to come in front of council here to tell what stuff they've been doing, because they haven't been in front of council.
Would you like Interior Health to come back, come council on a regular basis in a public meeting, so council and the public can have a regular update on what the healthcare situation is in town? Do you think that's a thing that could be done on a regular basis?
I don't know. They're busy doing their thing.
I'm not
you know?
talking every month, like quarterly,
Yeah,
every 3 months or so.
Yeah, I guess we'd have to talk to them about that, but, I was quite shocked to find out that, because I always was led to believe that it was all Interior Health's doing of why the complex care has been sitting on the shelf for 2 years. But then I learned, a little bit different. And it was, I got together with staff and CAO Tromwin, and we came to some resolve and then talked to Interior Health, and they were all good and everybody's good. And the only thing I did was make a mistake by putting it in my mayor's report when it's supposed to be going through the provincial government. But I did phone and apologize, and
well, it's a learning curve.
Everybody was, matter of fact, one lady in Interior Health, she said, you know what, Reid, it just shows how excited you are that some stuff's getting done. So, and I was excited about it. So,
Deputy Mayor role, what do you make of the situation right now? 4 councils are meeting, they're talking about the job description. What are your thoughts on how that is shaking down?
I'm not sure what the deal is there, because when I was picking the deputy mayors, we all talked about it. So for instance, one councillor didn't want March because she was going on holidays, and so we talked about that. So so I didn't just the mayor is allowed to pick the deputy mayor's positions, but I did talk to everybody about that, and so I don't know what. I don't know what the deal is.
Do you feel like it's a shot at you? I mean, do you feel like they're taking a shot at you?
Do you?
I mean, they come out and said it's the team building and the team participation thing is because he hasn't been at events, so we need to form, a new job description because he's not going to be there.
Well, I think we got clear last time we were here about the events, and maybe in some cases, I think, Christopher, you were saying that, in some cases, maybe I should go there and then thank all the other people that did it. But
you're not boast, but you're.
But again, if I'm in the middle of, and I know that 2 councillors are at a function where there's got to be a couple words said, and it's an event that's not going to happen until 2027, and I'm in the middle of a meeting with a bunch of housing units, and we need housing, we need tax dollars, we need this stuff, and I'm in the middle of a meeting, and instead of stopping the meeting, I get texting, which I don't like to do in meetings, but I text to see if one will go ahead and do it. And again, I've been out and around. I'm out. Hey, they can catch me at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning if they want to get up at that time of the day.
Do you think it's needed? This is pointless. Then, do you think it's?
I think it is. Yes, I think it is. And again, you don't want to. Like some councillors were on council when they gave up the hockey rink, for the kids. So there's a lot of, members of the hockey community and things like that are upset with, council members because of that, So I don't want to send somebody over to an event to drop a puck at an event that possibly could be good.
When Kibet was on, you didn't want to send a councillor to drop a puck and represent the city if that councillor was part of the vote that closed Memorial Arena for 2 years.
Especially when you've got someone like Margot Middleton, whose family's involved in it and things like that.
And she wasn't on council when the decision was made.
And again, if you're supposed to be 2 places at the same time or 3, I mean, I don't know what they, like if I'm the mayor at that time, I'm not, there's no deputy mayor because I'm not disabled. I didn't get, nothing happened to me.
No.
I didn't go missing.
No, but a deputy mayor is there in case, like you say, if you got to go to an event or you're out of town in Victoria talking to the premier, the deputy mayor is here to fill in for you when you can't make it to certain places, even if you're in town or out of town, right?
Right, but when I'm here, from what I've learned from other mayors, is that you try to pick people that are suitable for certain events, and maybe I made a mistake, but that's just what I've been told. So.
You've been busy lately. You've been you were at the Special Olympics.
Yeah, I saw you there at the thing. Yeah.
How'd you like my speech?
It was good. Yeah, and you cut short to the point, and you came out with the athletes, and Frank Caputo was there with the athletes, and Roseanne Casimir. It was a good event for sure.
Yeah, and I was at the doubles, mixed doubles curling yesterday for 1 o'clock, and then I went back again at 7, and I'll go to as many events as I like to speak to the public. I like to go to events. I'm not a great speaker, so.
But
it's kind of like the Special Olympics. The athletes helped me out a lot there. Yeah. It could have backfired on me when
I know.
Region.
What happened?
They could have said,
Region.
Well, they're all in the back, and they're all in the back there going Region 1. When we were underneath the stairs there, right? And they're going Region. So I got up and I said, I think the competition's already started. So I kind of took a chance on it because I said maybe you guys can help me out for about 30 seconds, and I went Region, and they all lit up. But if they would have done nothing, I would have looked like an idiot. But anyway, they did awesome. The athletes just
It was. They were so excited. They were saying that was one of the best opening ceremony ever. That was the 5th time we've hosted it, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And everybody else had good speeches too.
Yeah,
like
it was nice.
Cookby and
and Jan Antons.
Yeah.
Limits on speaking at council meetings for the public, should they be in place?
No.
For
I don't
time
think so.
limits.
Well, if
at
the
the start,
time-
the inquiry, you know, the last meeting went really long, and people were talking about how long it was. Dale Bass says maybe we should have. She's going to have a motion saying we should keep allowing people to talk to the council, but we should limit it, as Mayor Christian did, to 5 minutes per person, asking questions only, because sometimes it gets too long.
Well, you know, I think what took so long was I had a simple motion to review and look at relocating 48 West. Okay? So then that motion got severed, and it included the whole street. So I had to make a decision because now I'm within 100 meters. I mean, I guess they could have severed the motion and done the whole city, because I've already got documentation into the provincial government and things like that to already do a review on facilities throughout the community. But no, I think that I should have got it stuck to 48 West. But either way, you know, it was a win-win for me, because it got changed and kicked back to a division.
But the issue of it being too long, going forward, do you think there should be a time limit for public to talk about any issue on the agenda?
Well, it was all about that motion. But
But
I
going
sat
forward, do you think that a
No,
limit
but
should
I
be?
sat out of the room for 20 minutes and I heard it was a gong show, but I haven't even seen
Well,
it
it was
yet.
long. It was very long.
But that was just between council.
But the point is, no, the very start, when you had the Sisters Sleep Gallery people, you had Franco, everyone was up there talking about that issue. The point is, going forward, do you think, in case that happens again on another issue, should there be a time limit for the public to speak to council during the public inquiry?
You're already
meeting?
working long days, like you said, so.
But that's okay. The public, you know, I got elected by the citizens of the community. By me shutting the community down.
No, just limiting it to 5 minutes. What do you think?
No, because
No?
you know
Okay.
what? I'm going to tell you, I set a precedent starting, I don't know if you guys remember, on November the 15th. Even after getting a letter of threat, not to me, but to the staff from Ask Wellness, I still allowed Ask Wellness to have a delegation.
Yep.
Okay, well, the old mayor and council, you know, Councillor Bass was part of that. They allowed a delegation for 10 minutes. I allowed them for, I think, 30 minutes.
Right.
So how can I tell a lady that's her sister's being threatened with having her throat slit, another threatened of rape, of somebody walking right out of the building across the street, and they have concerns every day. How can I cut them down to 5 minutes when they've got years and years and they're still today scared stiff? And yet I allow a delegation on November the 15th to go on for 30 minutes.
So a precedent has been set then, so
yeah,
you
but
wanna
I'm
keep
the
it
chair.
going.
I'll cut it down. I mean, there's a guy that goes to in council, even earlier in that meeting, I don't know, it was probably before it went on camera. There's a guy that comes in front of council all the time, and he's being quite harsh on staff
You
and
actually
things
told
like
him.
that.
You told him to be nice. I remember. I saw that. That's right.
Why doesn't that come up? Like,
Well,
what's going on?
it's not a story. It's
coming up right
yeah,
now.
It's
It's
coming up right now.
Hey, but I asked.
I know
why
you
do-
told him. You said,
why
"Hey,
doesn't any of my
you
council
said
members
behave yourself." You said to the guy.
I
That's
said,
right. Yes, yes.
No, I said, can you just be
Yeah,
respectful?
yeah. You said that. He said, "Okay, I will."
Yeah, and he was. Right?
So the point is, you
And
don't.
not only that, hang on. I have one of my council members wants me to explain 27 years of my history on West Victoria Street. Now, how long would that take? And the other thing too is, you know what? I don't consider making $42,000 a year, and then if you're on the TNRD, another, I don't know,
15,
my numbers,
16,
whatever it
17.
is, but making over 55,000 or 42,000, I don't know how that became such a part-time job. And I'm sorry, I just don't see it. And if on Tuesday we have council and you know,
Well, you think the
full
pay?
day,
You think the pay should equal full-time work?
well,
That's
more,
a lot of pay.
You bet it's a lot. I don't know. What does the newspaper reporter get?
Well, 55 is not. The media. You're not in the media to get rich. So 55 is good money. Yes.
I've been making a lot less than that as a car dealer.
So
lately.
what you're saying is it's a part-time job officially. Councillors tend to say, but it's really a full-time job. You're saying, well, they're getting paid full-time pay. It should be a full-time job. That's what you're saying.
And if they, you know, they've obviously went to the community charter because you saw
Yep.
the rule book that was
Yep.
placed in front of me.
Yep.
But anyways, a council meeting is on Tuesday, okay, and you can go till 11 o'clock at night. And I'm sorry, but
It's a busy day.
I will cut it off. But if I cut Ask Wellness off at 10 minutes,
Yeah.
what would have happened then? right? And again, I was voted by the citizens of the community. I mean,
If it comes to a vote, though, and it comes to a vote to amend a bylaw, and you're defeated, then it would have to be a 5-minute thing once the motion is debated on the 28th, correct?
apparently I was listening on the radio last night, and apparently there's already 8 that I heard on Radio NL. I was just pulling into that mix on the North Shore, and I heard that Councillor Bass said that 7 other of her colleagues think
Agree
the
with
same
her.
way. So
You haven't talked to them about this?
I just, no.
No? Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
Sahali, naloxone, you went to the school. What happened there?
Well, I got a email, which I forwarded to all the council members, but it's sent to me, and it was a concerned citizen of the community that had told me that there was a bunch of naloxone kits, and which there's drugs in there and everything like that, and he was concerned about it, and so I drove up to the school and went to the front desk very politely. I should have worn a face mask or something, or maybe a wig, but
You spoke to the principal?
anyway, I talked to the front. I asked.
Mike can help you out.
No, I asked if the principal was available. So they said yes, and they went and got the principal, and I talked to him for a minute and asked him what happened, and he explained to me, and I said good, and then we sat the whole time, and we used to have a ball team, a group. He worked in Barrie and Clearwater. And we used to have a fastball team, and there was a few of us from Kamloops, a few from Barrie, and a few from Clearwater. And he knew of me from there.
Playing down at Charles Anderson.
Charles Anderson.
Yeah,
and we
right.
played in Clearwater and everything. We had a good team, 12 years in a row. I think we won. But anyway, he knew me from there. And we talked about, fastball and who we knew and stuff like that. And it was a great conversation,
The criticism from some in the community, and I thought the story was overblown. We did report on it, but I think it was a little bit overblown. However, the criticism, and I think it's warrants a debate, was it's a school district issue. The mayor, you're busy. You're working 30-hour days, so you have a
You sound like Brett.
but you have enough to do, right? You don't have time to do what you want to do. So that's one more thing that really is out of your bailiwick. So shouldn't you have just called up Rhonda Nixon and said, "Hey, Rhonda, I got a comment. I got a complaint. Can you, as superintendent of the school district, take care of this?"
I think Rhonda's busy. She's very busy.
But that's her thing.
But at
you
that
would,
time,
you would expect Rhonda to come to the city and talk to you about city issues, would you?
I wasn't going there to. Again, I've got nothing to say about that conversation. Like I said to Michael Patesio, okay,
Our reporter, good reporter.
Your reporter, yes,
Yep.
because he wanted me to comment, and I said no, I have no comment. It's okay. Joe can. He called me. He's a school board trustee.
Yeah.
He talked to me. We had conversation. I had conversation with the principal.
You don't
that's where it's
think you don't
going.
think you stepped into someone else's lane?
I don't think
This
so.
type of
but
thing,
you know what?
do you think this is what many people like about you? The fact that you're going to be kind of a maverick and just take a call and go and do something rather than worry about the red tape. I mean, do you think that is something that people like about you?
Well, I think from what I've been getting from the community, I can't even go to a hockey game now because of you guys. People are running up and saying, "Hey, congratulations! Keep going, keep up the good work." So
On the show.
So I believe, and some media stuff, but some not so good. They're a little upset with you, but that's okay.
Well, that's fine.
I think it's 50-50. People who are like,
I tell this to Marty when he breaks up with you. Can't force someone to love you. You can't force someone to love you.
I know,
and that includes
and Marty.
the media.
I'm sorry.
So,
I'm sorry about that because my son said
it's a
there's
lesson.
lots out there, but how's that going?
it's the same as it was before.
Is it? But don't give up on it either. Like I said, I've been married for 34 years, and so when I said that to you, I think you want to work.
Don't give up on her, or just don't give up on my life.
Don't give up on your life. Don't give up on her.
That's what I'm saying. Someone might be upset with us at how we report things.
Yeah.
You can't force someone to love you. Not everyone's going to love you. You got to do what you think is right, and damn the torpedoes, right?
Next subject. Okay. we're running along here. We got Sally Martin waiting. Black History Month coming up. Performance review. Can you give us your early performance review of City Council? How have things gone? Give us a grade so far.
Yeah, quarter of the way into the first year.
Yeah.
I think we're getting a lot of housing units going. I think that I don't think we need all the drama. I think that certain people have to understand that the community has elected 8 councillors and a mayor, and I don't know why. I've been defending myself. It hasn't been me. It hasn't been me about getting security paid for by this when I actually started security, and I've got some money coming back from an old grant and all that stuff. And same as people in my corner or whatever, threatening people when I don't even know the person. I just think we've got to continue to work on the city and things like that.
Some of that on you, though. Can you take some of the blame for saying, you know what, I've started some of this drama too. I can be less disruptive.
Well, where did I start it?
Well, some of the Dale Bass stuff right off your first interview, and
Excuse me, that started in 2008.
Okay.
That started.
Okay, but you
that started when I was a
responded.
concerned citizen in the community trying to get a recovery
center.
detox and recovery center going, and that was a councillor saying that about me. So,
Yeah.
where did I start?
I mean, there's a lot of issues I think we could go through about where you've been a spark plug for drama. I mean, just the way you are. I mean, going into schools and, I mean,
How did that even get to the media?
I don't know. Mike Testio,
Can't reveal his
he's got his
sources,
ear to the
there you go.
Well, it
ground.
wasn't me.
No.
Okay,
Shouldn't have been drama.
No.
Okay, shouldn't have been drama. There's a lot of drama.
So none of the
you tell
drama's
me-
on you?
well,
None of the drama's on you?
You tell me where I started some drama.
Well, there's that one case where you and Kelly Hall and Stephen Karpuk visited, went over to the Mora house, and BC Housing got up in a flap about that. They weren't happy with that.
Really?
On the record.
Well, you should have seen the letter that I got.
Okay, well-
the letter I got was a little different. And not only that, why was Stephen Karpuk and Kelly Hall's name not there? And not only that, what was I doing? I
You're
was
the
trying
mayor.
to get
You
people,
invited
hang on,
them. You
hang on,
invited them
drama.
there.
I was trying to get people that were freezing to death
It's a
on the
question.
street. Hang on,
Yes.
just hang on.
It's a question.
Okay, not only that, out of the cold had a gentleman that was in
I
a
know.
wheelchair. They were
Yes.
having a hard time dealing with. So going to a shelter and asking if
there
you
room?
have any room, if that's creating drama.
Drama.
well, what about
Then we got a bit of a problem.
some of the events you didn't go to, though? You already said, maybe I could have been to. Maybe I could have been to some of those. I mean, that's...
Yeah, but that's not drama. That I had reason. Like I said, Barb Berger did the most work for
Yes, Kelsen.
for the Kelsen group. I'm in the middle of a meeting about housing. Like, so why is that drama? That's just trying to get business done being as many places as you can at the same time. You cannot be at the holiday train and dropping the puck at the same time. And I don't see a helicopter waiting outside every time I'm supposed
Well,
to.
maybe
be
they
at
should
the
get you
next
to-
meeting. So tell me the drama. Why
well,
is this drama?
The drama is traditionally the mayor is at more of these types of events, and especially because the start of your tenure, to start off like that. Maybe that's what people are worried that, well, if he's always going to be like this and not showing up to these events as much.
He is showing up at the events.
Okay, I'm just.
This is where the drama comes from. I am showing up at events, and I'm going to be a boots on the ground guy.
Okay.
So if somebody wants to say something about the shelters or about people on the streets or where they're coming from and everything, well, guess what? I don't get a report from way up in the sky. I get it right from the ground. So when people tell me that these people don't want to get home, I can tell you different. Because I just talked to a guy on the street that a year ago, I got his jacket back at 4 o'clock in the morning because another street guy took his jacket. And I just ran into behind the NL radio, the building in the crevice there.
Yeah.
And he looked up and he goes, "Oh, you're the guy that got my jacket back." And he's trying to save money to get back to Nova Scotia. When I have that many people and they want to go home, okay, they're adults.
No, it's just a question. I was just asking if there's any
How we
blame that you can take at all for any of the drama that's happened. That you say
Well,
there's been drama. So if there's
tell
not,
me
if you
what-
say none, oh, hey, I'm asking you.
No, it's been
this is-
defense. I've been playing defense.
Yeah.
And I think the key here, is that we need to understand that the election's over. Okay? I've been elected by the citizens of the community. I don't care if it was 29% or 30% or how many of the people came out. If there was 100% of the people came out, would the result be different?
I don't know.
Well, I guess all we can do is speculate. It's kind of like where the mayor's chain went, right?
So we'll just
Okay, final thoughts,
We'll
final
just
thoughts.
leave the drama with your son in the wrestling ring, I guess. There you
Yeah,
go.
I know.
Yes. All right.
I know. Yeah.
All right,
No,
final
I don't want
thoughts.
any drama. I just want to, I just want to get doing the work, get going down to the work, and putting motions forward. It's kind of like trying to put a motion forward to review a facility that we should look at reviewing and relocating at 48 West, because that came into a 20 minutes or 30 minute just between council. The people that were there, and I haven't even seen it yet, but the people that were there in the gallery and the media, from what I understand, said it was a gong show. And that took another 30 minutes. And again, why are we scheduling? We only have council Tuesday of, it isn't every week, Tuesday, and it can go from this time to 11 o'clock at night. So I don't know why people are scheduling appointments on council or mayor through that at that time. And again, I feel that it should be more of a full-time position than part-time. And I'm sure I'm going to raise a little havoc over that. But
Create
again,
some drama?
well, no, it's not, because seriously,
that was a joke.
seriously, like, how much do you guys get paid?
Not very much.
Well, not the mayor's salary, let me tell you.
I get more. I know,
Not at all.
actually, I get
Holy
more.
cow.
Hey, it's the
Holy
first time
cow.
I've ever got. And thank you very much for the check, by the way, everybody.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
I really
We're
appreciate
paying your
it.
salary, aren't we? Yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
It's
All right.
Another rollicking edition of Reader's Digest, brought to you by Club Car Beverages.
Don't go there if you want to survive. There are people out there waiting to get by. I'm taking all of my time, alright. While you just sit there all night getting high.
We are with Sally Martin. You're the executive director of the Valid Dreams Foundation. How you doing?
I am doing fantastic. Thank you so much for having me.
It's a busy week for you. You're getting ready for a big event. What's going on?
Ooh, a lot is going on. Definitely a very big event in Kamloops after a very long time. Right now we have about 220 people registered to come for the event. A lot of exciting things and the love and support in the Kamloops community and the province of BC and actually beyond BC has definitely been overwhelming in a good way.
This is the Black History Celebration event. It's at the Colombo Lodge.
February 11th. February 11th, that's right.
What is happening? What's going to be happening at the event?
Well, we have a fashion show for this year. We'll have, amazing models.
Yeah, who's putting it on?
showcasing.
Who's going to be in the fashion show?
We have different models from the community, different designers, and different wares from actually the African store, Dede Afro-Caribbean Market.
Okay.
We have a couple of designs from there. And we have amazing models that are going to be showcasing that. Some are from the university, some are from the community, and from all cultures as well, which is really beautiful that we have all cultures represented too.
Maybe we should back up just a little bit. Valid Dreams Foundation, what is that?
Valid Dreams Foundation. So it actually, previously we started just as a small group as Kamloops Africans Association. But as we moved forward and what we wanted to represent in the community, we realized that Kamloops Africans and the name was very limiting. And so we changed to Valid Dreams Foundation. And we realized because a dream is something anyone from anywhere can associate with, can relate to, as opposed to Kamloops Africans. If someone is coming from China or India and they hear Kamloops Africans, they might think, this is only an organization that supports, people of, say, African community. But we wanted to serve the larger community, so people from all cultures definitely trying to integrate in the community of Kamloops as well.
So how do you serve them?
So we do provide career and guidance in terms of job searches. We have a mental health support program that is culturally sensitive, which we just actually started this month. And we have a link on our website where people can go and book for mental health support with our therapist or clinical counselor who's really taking a different approach that is different from the traditional therapy with a lot of consideration into the cultures that people come from and the different backgrounds that people come from.
I heard you on CBC Radio Kamloops. I was in the studio that day, and you kind of touched on it very briefly that maybe your process of settling into Kamloops wasn't so smooth. Is that fair to say, and why?
Yes, I would say, I think as a newcomer, first of all, when you come here, you're not very well prepared of the challenges that you're going to meet. And sometimes there's not an awareness of even the organizations that are there to support you. transition into the community. And I think one for me that has been really huge, even for other newcomers that we get to interact with, has been the shock in terms of racism does exist and people don't talk about it, you know. And so even in my own experiences of racism, I was so naive to that actually happened, you know. The ones that we see usually is the explicit bias that we see on TV from America and think, you know, Canada is immune to such, but there's a lot of implicit bias or unconscious bias that people just don't get to talk about openly, especially these communities of culture, you know, Black, Indian, Chinese, they don't bring it out to the forefront to talk about it. And there's a lot of racial trauma that can be associated with that.
And so that is also what Valid Dreams helps with. The foundation helps with. People can come together and talk about their shared experiences and maybe try to push forward in that area.
Absolutely. And one of our commitments this year is to actually work with organization, not just individuals, but work with the organizations to be able to create strategies that are actually culturally sensitive and that are actually intentionally focused on inclusion, because there is, you know, the saying piece, but how do people actually demonstrate that in an actionable way as an organization?
Okay. Well, I hope the event goes well. Cuisine and dancing. What can you tell us?
Cuisine, we're going to be featuring meals from West Africa, a little bit of East Africa as well. Interesting thing is that there's so many different meals in Africa, different cuisines. Every country has its own, so we cannot exhaust that in just one event.
Yes.
But we hope to continue sharing this through our cultural events that we hold every month, every first Thursday of the month at the Legion. And we showcase different meals from different parts of the world, not just actually Africa.
Every Thursday at the Legion, the public's invited to come?
The public is invited to come at the Legion every first Thursday of the month. We'll be hosting next month a Latin evening where we cook food from the Latin community, share a little bit of the culture, the dance, whatever the tradition is, just to be able to embrace other cultures as well.
I heard Mike's a little upset because the Colombo Lodge should only serve pasta. That's what he thinks. He's Italian. Colombo Lodge pasta only.
Now, mind you, pasta for me is a superfood because it's got like everything that you need: vegetables, protein, and pasta. So it's got like all the three food groups in it. But I had a question for you, Sally. When you think about home and you're living here, what's your comfort food that you cook for yourself?
Chapati.
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 And what is that?
It is my favorite. It's sort of a bread. It's almost like roti, which you know, originated from the Indian community, and I think then we took it and kind of revised it and customized it. So it's almost like a bread, and it's one of my favorite meals to have. So
nice.
Yeah.
I think that's what I like about different communities and groups is that my comfort food is different than what yours is, than what Bill's is, and I look forward to your event and checking out some of that food.
Website for people to, we did a story on the Valid Dreams Foundation's Big Night, and is there a website people can go to for not just for that, but to find out about the foundation and about the Thursday Legion nights?
Absolutely. So the Legion nights have not yet been put on the website yet, but we'd be happy to update that, definitely. If anybody would like to support our organization right now or support our event, we have a sponsorship button on our website that is www.validdreamsfoundation.com. There's a lot of information. People can access the programs, and really want to appreciate, you know, organizations, individuals that have really come through for us. The love and the support has been amazing. Thank you so much to BCLC for coming through for us, Canadian Mental Health for stepping in, Access Family Resources, Open Door Group, which is Work BC's agent as well. And we've really received great and a huge deal of support from the community.
We should also mention, we'd be remiss, February is Black History Month, and Kamloops, of course, is the city that had the first black council member ever, John Fremont Smith. 1903, 1907. So that is something that Kamloops can look back on. And there's a block downtown, a building, the Fremont building, that was where his business was. So a little bit of history for you.
Colombo Lodge, Saturday. It's not pasta only. It's Black History Celebration event. There's still a few tickets remaining.
Lots of tickets remaining, about maybe 50. I don't know if that's
But
a
you've
lot
sold
or-
a lot. It's a good crowd there. Good crowd. Yep.
Yes, so be ready to have some fun and bring your dance moves there.
Yeah, he likes to mix it up a little bit on the D floor.
There you go. Yep.
Okay, Sally, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
You ready?
Yep.
Logan Stankoven. Only a few months left to watch this guy. From Kamloops, he's kind of the dream story. We'll probably never see it again in our lifetimes. Kamloops kid, going to the NHL, CHL rating player of the year. He never won 2 World Juniors gold. He was never CHL player of the
Mark
year.
Recky's a Hall of Famer. He's won 3 Stanley Cups.
I'm saying,
we'll see it again. We might see it again.
I don't think we're ever going to see it quite like this.
Well, it's very, very impressive, but I wouldn't say it's like never again.
Well, if he goes on to the NHL and has success.
I think the Canucks screwed up by not drafting Logan Stankoven, and I know people say his size.
No, they did. They screwed up.
They screwed up big time. And but online, people are saying, "Well, he's too small to play in NHL." They don't.
Even at the time, people were
anymore.
saying you take a risk on Logan if you consider it a risk because he's from British Columbia.
He's a great player.
Well, I know that,
Yeah.
and there was risk. Maybe he's smaller, but
Yeah.
the upside is you get a local BC player on the Canucks who could be a star.
Part of the reason the Grizzlies screwed up and went to Memphis because they passed on Stevie Nash, one of the greatest ball players of all time.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to. Recchi and Stankoven are different too.
I'm just saying.
In our lifetime,
lifetime, you're never going to see. Well,
never
maybe
quite
but
this. Drafted by the Blazers. Hometown kid drafted by the Blazers.
Did Recchi not play for the Blazers?
Two World Juniors, 2 World Juniors gold
Hall of Fame,
medals.
3 Stanley Cups. I'm just saying, maybe a generational thing, maybe another generation. Maybe it'll take 25 years for this to happen again. You're saying that it's rare.
In
I
our
agree.
lifetimes,
it's rare.
the whole-
Yeah, it'll be in our lifetime, but it's rare.
Okay. Well, we disagree on that. 32-game point streak is the whole point of this.
Fantastic.
You're not even you've had a tough day today. You're on the phone the whole time.
I got so much going. I got a meeting before this, a meeting after this. I got to write a story. I got so much going on.
Not one of your best shows.
No,
today
it's a
because
great
you've
show.
been- you've been
However,
distracted the whole
here's
time.
the thing, though. No, I'm not distracted. I'm right on there. His 32-game point streak. It's amazing. We talked about it on the weekend. We talked about it tonight. We talk about this off air because it's such a great story.
He's chasing Connor Bedard, who had 35-game point streak.
It ended
snapped
last Friday.
Last Friday, and Lethbridge didn't get a
3rd.
point.
Yep.
So right now, the current active streak, Logan Stankoven has it. He's trying to make it 33 on Friday. They host the Saskatoon Blades. He can never catch the all-time record holder. It was 50.
55,
Jeff Nelson.
55, I
52
think
or
you
3
wrote
for
in-
Jeff Nelson
in
from
the
Prince
story
Albert.
today.
He can't. 57, something like that. He can't catch him
Only because
because he's played at World Juniors.
So good.
Yeah, his second gold medal, which Mark Recchi never got to.
That's right. But if he was playing here all the time, he could have approached that record. But he's so good to get calls away to the World Juniors.
And he missed the first 4 games of the season because he was with the
Stars,
Dallas Stars. Anyway, right now let's hear from Logan Stankoven talking about that streak and can he continue it?
Not really too focused on the point streak. I think just, when the team's having success, it makes it a lot easier for, players like myself and the rest of the team, as individuals to have success as well. So, I don't know really how it's came this far, but it's not something that I focus on too much.
You must know what's gone on, though. I mean, Connor Bedard got to 35, so you're 3 away from catching him. Has that kind of crossed your mind at all?
I mean, it's been brought up a few times just amongst people around me, and it'd be nice to beat this point streak, but if it happens, great. If it doesn't, then it's not the end of the world, right? We have a lot of games coming up here, so lots of season to play, and just hopefully finish off strong leading into playoffs.
What was the closest call for that streak ending so far?
I'd probably say in Everett. I ended up getting the empty net goal, so I had a couple really grade A scoring chances against Everett, and the goalie just made some incredible saves on me. So it was definitely nice to get that empty netter. Otherwise, the streak would have been over.
if you get to the second intermission, let's say your team's up big, so you're likely going to win the game, but you don't have a point yet. Does that play into your psyche at all? Like, oh man, it might end if I don't score in this next period.
No, not really. I mean, I think you can kind of score at any time, right? So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously, it's nice to score or get a point early, because then, yeah, like you said, you're not really thinking about it. But then, there's lots of time left in the game. Even if you're going to the third period, there's still lots of hockey left to play. So, don't really try and stress about it too much.
Any examples of teammates trying to make sure this streak continues? I mean, trying to set you up, and or for the empty net goal, did somebody pass the puck to you, or do you notice teammates kind of willing you to have this streak continue?
I don't think anything like in particular, but I think just the unselfishness of players on our team. I remember that Everett empty net goal. Minton could have just kind of iced it into the net, but he gave it right back to me, which was really nice of him, and definitely unselfish. And then I think I remember it was the Prince Albert game. Our line hadn't gotten a goal yet. I think it was me, Semi, and Banks playing together, and I remember just in front of the net, I think it was the 6th goal that Banks scored. I kind of just threw it off the pads, and it went right to him, and he scored. And the first thing he said to me was, "We kept your point streak alive." So that was pretty.
Have you looked at the record books at all, like the all-time record books, to see where you could stack up at the end of this thing?
No, I haven't. I haven't seen any of the record books yet, or I don't even know where I can find them. Probably Elite Prospects or something, or whatever it is, Hockey DB. But no, I haven't even really looked at it.
Well, I did today. So you can max out at 53 games if you were to score in all of your remaining games. Now that would leave you second all time in the category. So you can't actually catch the overall leader, who was Jeff Nelson, who had 56. Does that bother you at all that you can't get to the number 1 spot?
No, that's insane. I don't know how you can go that many games with getting a point. That's impressive though.
So how cool would it be to be second in that category if you can somehow push it to at least 48 games, then you're number 2 all time?
Yeah, that'd be really humbling. That'd be super cool. So just to have my name up there would be awesome. So hopefully it's going to take a lot of luck and a lot of hard work, but you never know.
Good show. The mayor's always good for his honesty, his bluntness.
Never creates drama.
No, he doesn't. He's not a drama queen.
He's not a spark plug.
He's not a spark plug, but
he's not a lightning rod for drama
he's
at
a
all.
boots on the ground, non-drama guy. But he is.
It's never been his fault.
He's. I like having the mayor on because he just tells it like it is, and we ask him questions, and all you can do is get the answers from him. Some things he says, and I've said to him on the air and off, that I disagree with. Yeah. His whole visit to the school and the uproar over kids taking home the naloxone.
I think people, his base especially, they love that.
Yeah.
They love that. He takes a call, he goes to the school.
Sure.
And they're going to like the fact that the same people are going to like the fact that he's standing by, he never creates drama, it's other people. Sure. People get a chuckle out of it.
But
it doesn't hurt him.
You know what? That's true. And he's not running for election because he just got elected, but he has to appeal. The base is his base.
Yes.
It's like any politician. If you want to, and if for whatever reason, if he wants to appeal to other people, you might want to consider their views.
Well, do you think that his defiance there, when he's saying, "Oh, I didn't create any drama," that is going to turn off other people? Or?
Well, no, because what's happening there is the people he turns off are already turned off. The people who agree with him already agree with him. What I'm saying is, if for whatever reason, if he's running for election, or if he just wants to appeal to more people, there's a way to do that, and that's not the way to do that. But that's up to whatever he wants to do.
I think as far as the deputy mayor stuff goes, I mean, if he can show over the next, 5-6 months that was just a blip, the first part, then. Does it need to be expanded, the role? I'm not on council. They know better than we do. Clearly, there's a reason that they're sparking this group.
I've said this in a column, and we've talked about it. Other people online have said this, and other journalists have said this. Maybe he should be more involved, and council has a point in expressing frustration with that. Again, though, we're 3 months into a 48-month term. So let's I know you can't keep saying let's give him time, but it's still too early to say you can't give him more time. It's so early still.
Tough for us to sit here, and we're not on council.
No,
Clearly, they've got to a point where they feel this has to be addressed. So, and they won't say exactly what they're
No, there's
saying
behind the scenes
on
meetings, there's
what they
personal
think on record.
conversations. We don't know half of what's going on there, and rightly so.
But I think it is a breath of fresh air when he comes on and speaks his mind and says, just because there's pressure to not do things like go into a school, that's whatever, I'm going to do it anyway. I mean, there's something that's admirable about that. I'm sure that the administrators probably don't feel that way.
I'll put this out there right now. Reid Hamer-Jackson has appeared how many times on our show? 3 times?
3.
And he's appeared, this is the 3rd time?
Yeah.
Third
This is the 3rd time Reader's Digest, and he came on, I think, before.
This is 4th time total,
yeah,
right?
I think so.
So after his first 3 appearances, I've been contacted by city councillors, not the same ones, who had issues with what he said or wanted to clarify or say this is wrong or whatever. And I've said, come on the show, let's talk about it. And I'll put that out there again. Why don't you come on the show and we'll talk about this stuff?
Yeah. And we did try and talk about issues and the social disorder and what's being done about that. And he talked about strategic planning. So hopefully next time we can talk about strategic planning or something.
No, there'd be a lot of the budget meetings next week. We could talk about the budget, people's taxes. They're concerned about that. That's a good topic. But we should reach out, and we will reach out to some of the councillors and say, hey, would you like to come on in the intervening weeks to talk about not only what Reid is saying, because I'm sure they'll take some issues with what he said today, but what's going on from a councillor's point of view. And we'll reach out to some councillors and hopefully have them on the next few weeks.
Mike, great job today. Any final thoughts from you?
I really like this show again. It's I do enjoy the candidness of the mayor talking, and I think overall it was it's a good show. And I'm still reeling in the excitement from our hockey game that we played earlier on.
Well, you can have one of these after the show.
And I'm going to have a club car here right away after work.
Yes, I know Gord's is too. Little Gord Stevens here. He does services. He doesn't touch the club cars till he's done his work. So he does his service, then he goes and he has a few club cars at night. In the morning, he wakes up and he has a little McDonald's to get himself going. So we thank Club Car, we thank Gord's Appliance and Mattress Center, and we thank McDonald's. We thank Greg, who's not here again. Yeah. But we miss Greg. I hope you're doing well, Greg. Magic Mike and Bill at the controls. We'll see you last week.
I gotta pee so bad.